Bonjour.
And back again.
Yes. The space and time continuum changed only this part. I had a blue blouse yesterday, today it's black. So the time changed the color. Or the rest is the same.
I did not mention it on purpose to avoid for you having to explain why you have to change clothes between two videos that were taken really shortly.
Because I can. I'm a girl. I change clothes. I might have spilled something. Shit happens.
Hopefully that wasn't what you spilled.
No. 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 We're gonna try again to make a very short vlog today. And to keep it to like 30 minutes. That's why we, without any further ado, go into the artwork that happened this week and run that down quickly. So I did the letter journal with the first page that I published on Friday. And did my art journal page for this week, did shoot the art journal vlog video of the month like a couple of minutes ago, and that will be up tomorrow. I did a shit load of video editing, of course. And I did work on the carpet for my lovely husband for our wedding anniversary for 12 hours maybe in total. So it was that much that
it's a very small
totally small. So it's 2 meters by 250, and I did do like, I don't know, 6 rows an hour by 12. Do the math. So I'm not. No, don't. You don't, honey. It's okay. It's fine. So that's what I did art-wise this week. And do you want to comment? Do you have any questions? Did I miss anything? Am I? Oh, of course, I did the art of cooking and the art of breathing and the art of sleeping. Yeah, I'm way more awake than him, so I think he's just zoning out, but stay with me. Did I miss anything?
I don't know.
I hope not. Did you like the piece from Friday with the pomegranate and the little garden gnomes?
Yeah. I like the comic style and the colors and use in it. That was the one you said that was dry painted?
No, that was yesterday's art journal page. That was dry painting. No wet ingredients there. But it's quite similar style-wise. It's the comic-y thing with the black outlines and very primal colors. Like not a lot of mixed.
Lots of ape.
Yeah, that's his favorite color. Now there's of one color. There's not very many shades in the painting. It's just like light and dark, no in betweens.
Like 50 shades. 50 Shades of Gorilla.
This is a topic not for this. So we're back. Yeah, I'm gonna link, of course, all the videos of all the stuff that I just mentioned or we just mentioned, so you can take a look at it. What I did create this week. It's honey, we're almost 5 minutes in, and we're already ready to move to the next and final topic. I guess we might be able to go around 30 minutes only.
only because I'm trying really hard not to distract you by just sitting here and giving my visual presence to the video without any audio interruption. But yes, it's true, I'm still a little bit tired. But only because I discovered yesterday that related to, and here's the segue, the Loading Ready Run guys who did Strip Search for Penny Arcade also did a documentary of sorts for the Cards Against Humanity guys and their tabletop deathmatch series, which totally flew under my radar.
I forgot about it.
Yeah, I've seen that they wanted to do that. I saw the announcement trailer.
I saw the trailers, yeah.
And then somehow this zone out, and then watching their podcast yesterday, they said, so what was your favorite game from Tabletop Theater? And I was like,
hold it.
Wait a minute, and then, oh my god, 17 episodes of I have to watch game design now from front to back.
So
till 4:30 in the morning.
You were in bed, you said goodnight 4:30, and I followed maybe 4:45 or something.
Later.
No, I wasn't that much later in bed. So now it's 3:30 in the afternoon, and he's still trying to be awake. And
so blame Max Temkin and the Loading Ready Run guys.
Yeah. Anyways, you made such a nice segue to board games. So as promised a few episodes ago, we thought about and we tried and we did take board games on vacation. And what we took and what we experienced and what we might recommend from the stack of board games that we own.
From our vast library of a handful of games. But
hundreds of games.
It is actually more than 100.
Yeah.
By now, but it's still very, minor sized in comparison.
We're not board game bloggers or reviewers that have tons and tons and tons, but we do have quite a good and vast collection of certain games. So anyways.
Also living in Germany leads to having smaller houses. Maybe if we have enough storage space for more games, there will be the library in the East Wing, which will consist entirely out of games and not of books or something.
Yeah, the books have to move to, or stay in the West Wing, and the games move to the East Wing. That would be cool. Anyways, let's just dive into it. So the thought behind this list is that, oh gosh, honey, that you go on vacation not with a huge car where you can take kilos and kilos and kilos of stuff with you, but that you are limited by suitcase size and by weight per piece when you go on vacation with a plane, for example. And I would not recommend taking Caverna with you because that thing is just so heavy it takes away a lot of...
You might get into trouble at customs for importing vast amounts of wood.
Yeah, that too.
So
we thought of what we took, not only because of the size of the game, but also because of the weight of the games, was Magic, Love Letter, Space Beans, and Flashpoint.
Also important for us was it had to be a game playable 2 to up to 6, preferably. We knew that 4 of us would
definitely play
on the first couple of evenings.
Yeah.
And
on the airport, of course.
And we would have liked, that's why Flashpoint is in there, to have at least one cooperative game, because the other guys are more into co-op games, if playing at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess from the stuff we took, although we
played everything.
Did we play Love Letter?
Yes, we did on the way back on the airport, where we had to do something for 5 hours waiting. So it was perfect for gaming, actually.
So I think the game that is best fit, if I had to pick one of those, would be Love Letter, although it is only supposedly up to 4, but it is such a small, compressed game, so quick to play and you can play it while talking about other stuff. So, from being small and going on camping trips as a vacation with my parents, we always had games with us, like card games, and that just reminds me of that, sitting in the evening or having something to eat up until late at night and playing card games together.
It was the same. I don't know if it's exactly the same rules. Kniffel is Yahtzee, right?
Yes.
So we did that in Norway. When I was pretty young, we went to Norway on vacation for 3 weeks, and going with a family with 4 people, 1 car, like a normal car, and a jet bag on top, like with a tent. We didn't have a house, so we had very limited space of stuff going with us, and we had Yahtzee with us, and we played it until very early in the mornings, because we went in summer and there's not really night in Norway. So I had the same memory, or sort of the same memory, of playing games on vacation.
So when we had, and that was certainly limited to amount of games available, and keep in mind, and at least for me, I was about 8 years old then, so that was more on games like, as you said, Yahtzee, or a variant on Uno. I had a game called Garfield's card game, which was pretty much Uno from the game mechanics.
So cool.
But as an 8-year-old, you are way more attached to Garfield.
Of course. And was Odin in there as well? Did he have a card?
I don't think. Oh no, he had, yes. The skip a turn card was Odin.
I loved Garfield comics, as you just might realize right now. I love them.
Yeah, but coming back to
the games
to today, so I would, if you have kids, I would almost recommend Love Letter, because it is fairly simple to understand. It has only a few couple of components, so even if someone is not too much into board games or doesn't want to spend too much time getting into that, it is easy to understand, and you can literally play while talking about what happened during the day. There's not too much thinkiness going on into that. And another game that is, I think, similar to that and occupies about the same amount of space would be Space Beans. Although I have to say Space Beans takes longer to play on a per turn basis. I mean, you can adjust the point values you need to get to finish the game.
Yes, but it's the same that you can talk about other stuff, because the gameplay itself does not need to have any communication, and actually there can't really be any communication about the game while you play it, so you can easily talk about other stuff.
I would go I mean, Space Beans is even less exciting than Love Letter. In Love Letter, you at least get some points where you're like, hey, are you you're on. You're banned from this table. I won't spend the rest of the vacation with you, or you're not flying back with us. And
you were on coffee, getting duty now.
Yeah, having this kind of fun conflict with friends or within the family, that's fine. Space Beans is due to there only be a very limited interaction. You're not kicking someone out, or you're not making them skip turns, so it is literally like a sort of background noise game, even more so than Love Letter is.
You just actually have this conversation that you have during Love Letter once you count the points with Space Beans, where you say, you're not flying home with us,
I mean, the worst,
stay here.
The worst in Space Beans that happens is that someone is not giving you cards, or that you're getting cards that you can't use, and they say, why? What? You're useless to me. And then that person says, but the next one is the same to me. So that's the ultimate extent of conflict. Going on there.
So that's And those are actually quite calm games when you play them with adults. Only we played them on the airport for quite a while because we had to wait for 5 hours, like I said, for our plane to take off and to go for boarding and all that stuff. So you do not really disturb any surrounding people. Well, you can play them late at night. You would not disturb anybody. You couldn't do that with Taboo or what. In comparison, it's a rather calm game, or these are rather calm games, and there's very small, very light boxes, so they fit into the suitcase easily.
The third and last card game we took was Magic, which has when we are playing Magic, we at least us two not spending time or too much time on building decks. So I almost prefer the here grab randomly a pre-made deck and run with it, and just that casual Magic playing. I could sit down, but I just don't want to spend the time and
I don't have the patience actually,
and doing that
or the interest
refining decks. So the in fact the ones I prefer most are the commando decks, because they have so many different cards in them that it feels fresh replaying the same deck, because next time you get something different out of it. And I very much personally prefer the kind of take these cards and make the best out of what you're getting on your hand, maybe without knowing what's in the deck coming up. So that moment to moment strategic but also creative decision making without knowing too much about what the overall grand strategy of the game, the deck is.
Yeah, I like that too, actually.
The thing with Magic is it takes quite long. We played it with 4, even without the commander decks, just regular decks in a free-for-all match, so everybody fighting against everybody else. And I think our first match took at least an hour.
Yes.
So that, and it actually requires a lot of space. That's to say, you have to bring some extra tokens depending on the types of decks you're playing. The good thing about if you're just going with the very simple kinds of decks, you can literally get away with everybody having just a couple cards. And if you're going on a trip with, let's say, six people or more, you grab that many decks and can switch them out, have someone play something else, and that's enough, I guess, to keep people occupied for an entire vacation.
And it's way more strategic and way more intense than the other 2 board games, so you have variety in that as well.
Yeah. And if now here's the thing: if you're traveling with 2 people only, then I would only recommend taking that if you really like it. But if you really like it, I don't have to recommend it, because you would take it.
You would take it anyways, right?
The thing is, because it's so strategic, there's not a lot of talking going on, because everybody's intently looking at the cards and the board, what's going on. Until you get to that point where you're in fact playing with 4 people or more, because there's so much downtime until your turn continues, that you in fact would have time to talk to the other players. So Magic is way less communicative in comparison.
And that's the thunder.
Yeah, that sounds like it's going to rain.
Yeah. Soon.
So Magic is way more involved in terms of gameplay than, let's say, Love Letter or Space Beans. So I would say Love Letter is still my favorite out of that, because it has some
way of
it has some gameplay, it has some strategy, not the immediate per play strategy, but the strategy of playing optimal over most rounds to get the most out of it. So you can't start a play of Love Letter and say, I'm going to win this time, and you can
You
only
can say
try
it, but it's not gonna happen necessarily.
you can. Love Letter is the typical game of statistics in terms of you have to play the best way every time. So over time,
and with Love Letter, I think it's fairly easy and kind of fun to have like a vacation tournament. Like you count all the times that one person won during a vacation, and at the end of the vacation, the winner gets I don't know what. You figure something out. I think that would be a fun concept when you play that with kids or with younger people, just to give them kind of like a challenge, and but still make them interested in the game even after 3 weeks of vacation playing it, like in that time. The fourth game, by the way, that we took was Flashpoint, which we talked about, like the game mechanics. We talked about that in depth in the board game. And just look for the board game vlogs coming up within the next 48 hours. So this video will be up first. I'm just...
Oh, okay.
Because we shot them before this video, actually. But it's going to be uploaded afterwards because I have to edit more. Anyways, did you like taking Flashpoint with you on vacation? Was it worth it?
I think Flashpoint, as I said also in the other video, same with Pandemic. Those two are really, really great family co-op games. And I would say if you're traveling parents with a kid or two kids, take that with you, because due to its cooperative nature, there is no conflict between the kids. It's all of course it's depending how old are the kids, how do they react to losing a game or winning a game.
But they can't go into their room and be stubborn for a while when you're on vacation in a hotel room. You know?
Yeah, even if you're out camping,
you can't sleep outside, right?
The good thing is Flashpoint is small enough in terms of dimensions for the box and the board that you can easily put it out on a table, on a camping table.
And it's when you do go by plane and not by car to a near camping spot, it's also lighter and smaller than Pandemic, which has kind of like the same mechanics. Pandemic is bigger. The box is bigger and it's heavier.
Yeah, the Pandemic box is bigger, but it's only heavier because we also have
because of the board. No, but the board, the game board, is twice the size of Flashpoint, so it's naturally also heavier because they are made of kind of like the same material.
The components in Pandemic are lighter than.
Yes, that's true.
So the overall box weight is.
It's heavier.
I mean, they're both light enough not to make too much of a difference.
But I think Flashpoint is easier, or preferably to take on vacation in comparison to Pandemic.
I would say, just from memory, if I would have been a kid, I take something quick and easy to play at an airport or on a. You could even play Love Letter when traveling by car, in terms of someone is driving and the people not driving can easily play Love Letter while doing that. For those short amounts, or after dinner or something like that, or if you want to have a more elaborate gaming evening, you can then put out Flashpoint, have a table, put it up, and it's easy to set up. It's easy to replay again. You have replayability value by having different roles, so you could almost always go in and say, hey, this time you're the driver, or this time you're the medic. And it's random enough to make things challenging and interesting. And it has some small components that might get lost, so it's not a beach game in that regard,
No.
but it's a
It's a camping
yeah.
game.
You
could
need a
easily,
table.
Yeah, but you could easily play it like on the bottom of a tent.
Yeah.
Or on a table when you go camping. So you don't need to have a huge table. And by the way, near camping sites, there's usually a restaurant where they have a table and where they don't mind that you eat and play meanwhile. I never experienced any...
Depends on the country.
I never experienced... We went camping like all over Europe when I was a kid, and I always had board games with me, and I did never experience anybody... As long as you had drinks and food with it, they were fine that you played a game of cards on their table, especially in the Netherlands. They're so cool with it. I didn't experience any problems in Norway.
Well, not in Europe,
in the eastern parts.
In the US, but that's more because I'm maybe I'm unlucky, but my personal perception of going and having dinner somewhere in a restaurant, it almost always feels like, and once you're finished, please leave the thing because we have other paying customers. So
that's different in Europe. So I think in Europe you could easily do that. It's
but that seems to be a different mentality.
Yes.
So, yeah. I guess they might be amazed at our sit until the evening and talk. And
so many Americans told me that. They were amazed that you could just sit with an espresso and you could sit there for like 30 minutes and nobody would... or that you have to call the waiter to bring you the bill, and that you get it served with dessert, like, for example, other people do. Anyways, we're so close to the goal. Come on, what else would we recommend?
Some honorable mentions that we didn't actually take, but that I can see being good to take on.
And that are from our library of games, so we don't recommend anything that we don't own.
So the good thing about card games is that you can pretty much play them everywhere without having any solid ground to play on. But if you have one... A similar game and small in size would be a dungeon roll.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Which has there's a limit in character cards you have, but you could theoretically scale that up to as many players as you want, because it's always someone is the dungeon master, someone is the hero, and then it goes over. The dungeon master becomes the next hero, and the person sitting next to him becomes the hero, and so on and so on. So
and it's also fairly small, fairly
it's
light.
Small, it's simple, it's very luck based. In a push your luck thing, depending if that is something you like or not. But I can imagine that it's just nice having dice, rolling them, and something.
I was actually thinking about taking it on vacation, but we said, okay, we're just gonna limit ourselves to 4 games.
On the same vein, with and probably without expansions, depending how much you want to take, King of Tokyo is there as well. So King of Tokyo would then be the next step of you. Yes, you need a table to do that. You don't really need a table to do that. No. You could get away with just taking the dice. And then everybody having
a piece
of paper. So you could literally get away playing King of Tokyo by just taking the cards and the dice. If you really want to go on a space budget and play that anywhere. So so I might say King of Tokyo. Although the big draw are the beautiful artwork of the monsters and the boards that you have. Clearly, you don't need those,
but they add to the gaming experience.
But it's one of the major draws of the game to do that. However, if you played that enough at home that you can say, we really like the game for being a cool game. We know how it looks like. That's a great way to take that with you.
Yeah. Also, if you're having kids that are slightly older, or if you're just adults, like teenagers, for example, that's fine. Spellslingers is also a very nice card game to take on vacation.
In the Epic Spell Wars.
See, I was watching the new trailer for Spellslingers Season 2. And I wrote down spellslingers instead of...
I was wondering,
What the heck?
Did she mean that?
No, I was probably tired when I wrote down the list.
So you mean Epic Spell Wars?
Yes.
Battle at Mount Doom?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a Cryptozoic card game where you
So sorry.
everybody is a wizard, and you play cards to form spells, and spells can have between 1 up to 3 components with a source. How's it called? Source. The middle is the last one is delivery. What's the middle one?
I don't know.
Huh.
It's orange. I go with colors.
So the thing is, you have spells, and one card is in the beginning of the spell where it says Mr. Blah blah blahs, and then the next comes Magnificent, and then there's a bolt of lightning or something like that.
And it's kind of offensive. That's why I say don't play it with the small kids, but teenagers it's totally fine.
It has a
very
offensive
distinct artwork,
comic art style, similar to, I think, Adventure Time comes close to that. But it's very violent in that art style.
But funny.
It is, yeah. It is as gross and violent as some may conceive Ren and Stimpy cartoons, something along that vein, or it is funny.
Yeah. But so at least have teenagers also, with you, like 16 plus.
Also, if everybody's at an age point where it's fine to have a couple of drinks in the evening, I can see that game benefiting tremendously from a drunk adult audience.
Yes, because you of course have to read the spells aloud, and you have to really...
Gandalf booming voice.
Yes, and the more liquor there is in one person, it might be even funnier with the way they present the spell. Also, small box, light box, it doesn't get old, so it's a good game. I think we're done with the games, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is there anything that is not on the list that you would recommend that I might have forgot once I put the list together?
The thing that is still on the list, but is in a very similar same vein, would be Netrunner, which I can't recommend if you're more than 2 people, because simply there are I guess there are custom multiplayer rules and drafting rules for more than 2, but it's a 2-player game. However, and again, total personal preference, if it were just 2 people going on a vacation, I would almost recommend to take Netrunner over Magic.
Yes.
It is, for me, it's just quicker to play is not exactly right, but it's
I like the game a little
lighter
more.
in terms of special card effects.
Yes.
So if you're not playing that much Magic, you end up with, oh damn, how does that work? What's dredge again? And
what's flying? What's first strike? What's the difference? What is
that's the easy ones,
what comes before what? Which I always forget that.
And Netrunner is pretty straightforward with that. And
the card text also is way clearer if you're not other way around. There is a certain language, like a dialect or an accent that goes with Magic. You have to know the words. And what I mean with if you play Netrunner, you could get along with plain English, because what the card text actually is clearer to me on Netrunner than it is on Magic. Just because I
put 2 cards in your grip.
I never had that.
Take them from the stack.
Yeah, stack.
So Netrunner also has weird language, but
it's plain. I understand. I don't. What the hell would I know? I didn't know what Death Touch would mean. I always forget what Death Touch or First Strike or Flying means in the game mechanics with Magic, where I think sometimes I feel I need to have a little dictionary. I don't have that with Netrunner or like Magic. other deck building games like Dominion or whatever. But it's just the world that Magic is in that I think also requires that kind of language to go with the game.
Yeah,
I think it would be boring without
Magic
it.
comes with a first of all, Magic comes with a long history of game mechanics, and there's Netrunner doesn't have cards that have introduce very specific new rules or mechanics to the game.
Yeah.
Yet, because they're expanding it, and I wouldn't be surprised if they come up with some things. And they have some cards with special rules, but they're explained not as a here's the keyword for the rule, and now you know what to do. It's more like this card text describes in a very
in
detail what's supposed to happen.
Honey, we are at 35 and we described all the games. Chaka, high five. We are so good. We had quite the introduction, so we are around 30 minutes. Mission accomplished.
So if you're going on a vacation, I would
take
say
a game.
If you don't own any of those, grab Love Letter. It is not too expensive. It is fun.
$8
and
in Germany.
If you're more into rolling dice, then grab King of Tokyo or Dungeon Roll. I mean, in fact, if you're thinking about taking Yahtzee with you, take a look at King of Tokyo.
Yes,
it is very much this a similar mechanic,
but it's
when it
way
comes
cooler.
to dice rolling. But it has a really nice flavor and flavor on it.
Yes.
Okay.
So
that's it for that.
We're done. The week is done. We see each other the next week or in the next videos, depending on what serial you watch them in.
In what order you mean?
Yes, thank you. Okay. Missed the word. So I hope you enjoy yourself and take good care and have fun and
goodbye.
If you're in the States, happy 4th of July to you, because that's coming up. It's next Friday, I think, if I remember correctly.
I recall that's the holiday or vacation they have with the flying saucers, right?
Just because Independence Day.
Enjoy your alien computer virus holidays.
Yay!
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Jeff Goldblum, goodbye.